Are we on?
I think he counted.
We were live, Darcy.
Are we live?
Yes, you are live.
Okay.
You're live.
Welcome to the H.B.D.C meeting of May 20th. This meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify the chairman. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 18, and the governor's March 23rd, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Chatham H.B.D.C is being conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this meeting while in progress may do so by calling the phone number 508-945-4410, and the conference ID is 838-521-086 and the number sign. Despite our efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access, and we will post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. So we will proceed with a roll call. Bob Burns, just answer yes if you're here, please.
Yes.
Doug Bratton?
Yes.
Sam Streiber?
Yes.
Jackson Smith? Darcy Sequin. Okay, we will begin this meeting with the minutes. Does anybody have any amendments to it? All look good?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
That was by Doug. Okay, whoever seconds it, please state your name, please.
Bob
Sam?
Burns, second.
Bob Burns seconds. Okay, the minutes have been reviewed and I need everyone in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, the first item on the agenda is Island Pursuit, care of Michael Valentino.
You don't want
Application.
to read the,
No, I'll read them, Sam. It's
Okay.
okay. You just, if there's a follow-up with the,
I
anything.
read about the letters from the community.
Okay, let me read the application first. The application to install a wall sign on the site of the structure located at 624 Main Street. Michael, are you there?
I want to
Yes,
read Madam Chairman, I need to read the applicant. Sarah Clark has written to the Central Permanent, she's a Central Permanent Coordinator, and she has written that the proposed sign would be a second wall sign and does not face a street frontage. Therefore, the applicant is required to seek approval from the Sign Code Appeals Committee under the sign bylaw section 225-19. The applicant has applied for the required appeals permit and is currently scheduled to be heard June 11th.
Okay, very good. All right, would you like to tell us what you'd like to do, Michael?
Yes, the side of the building at the hardware store, while lovely clapboards, are slightly understated. And essentially, you're just looking at a 10-foot by 50-foot white clapboard wall without any indication of commercial activity. And my thought, especially sharing the space with the Chatham hardware store, is that I was shocked to find out, to tell you the truth, after being in business for 15 years in Chatham, that there was a parking lot there. And I thought what better way to draw attention to the commercial use for the general public of that parking lot? And as you know, parking spaces are in very, very short supply in the downtown area. I don't think there's 50 spots on Main Street. And of course, we've got our remote parking lots, which are always full. So any kind of a supplement to that is a huge benefit to the community at large. And so I thought that our beautiful sign, which has been up on the corner and has always been complimented as being historically correct, which was made by the sign shop there in Chatham. But just in general, it speaks to upscale commercial use. And so I thought that, especially considering the circumstances that we have today, we merchants need everything we can have going in our favor. And if a slight modification to the zone variance would be reasonable, I think that the presentation of that side of the building would now speak commercial use. It would also facilitate the business of the hardware store, which is now located down the parking lot, creating a very, very substantial use for that space. Because as you know, real estate in Chatham has a very dear cost and contributes to the tax base of the town as well. I'd venture to say that that's probably one of the largest taxable properties in the downtown area because of its size. And that being said, we want to retain the best use for that property as we move forward with the curveballs that we've been dealt with, not only with regard to the current circumstance, but an unknown curveball probably to you guys because you're more interested in arts and so on, I would imagine, and historic architecture. Amazon has crushed business for local merchants like Chatham. So again, we need everything we can have going in our favor. The Amazons and Walmart.coms of this world and other mega online retailers have grabbed about 40% of the business from local merchants. And that business just evaporated to these large multinational corporations like Amazon. That being said, we need, again, everything we can going in our favor. The town of Chatham will benefit handsomely with the use of these parking spaces, keeping our customers off street and into our own exclusive parking area there, both for the Chatham hardware store and Island Pursuit. And it provides a segue to business prosperity because we were located up the street at 482 Main Street. And I don't think it's any sort of secret in town. The reason why we left is the rent was extraordinary. And Chatham really does not command those rent values anymore. Another little known secret. And so that there needs to be this adjustment phase with regard to the rental base in Chatham, which was really crushed by the Amazons of this world. So the merchants are facing challenges. And one of the challenges we face is visibility. Amazon is quite visible. Island Pursuit is not that visible. This extra sign will add value to the community, and it will add value to two businesses, not only Island Pursuit, but this is going to the idea of the Chatham hardware store and Island Pursuit partnership is that we would mutually attract customers to this one particular location. And so I think that sort of ends my presentation, unless anyone has any questions.
Oh, Darcy, you're going to have to unmute yourself.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Michael. I am going to be calling on each one of the board members now to see if they have any questions or comments. Bob Burns?
Okay.
Yeah, this is Bob Burns. Michael, a couple questions on the, I like the sign. The sign is the same sign. It's a well-done sign, so I think the sign is great. Question would be on the placement, and I'm not sure. There's going to be a side entrance to Island Pursuit. Is that correct?
Yes, it works both for the hardware store and the Island Pursuit store.
Okay.
But I think we had cited the sign in the diagram, if I recall correctly, or the approximate location. Sarah, is that correct?
Correct. So it's in that sort of single story part of the building that comes out.
Yeah.
Is that where the side door will be located?
It's further down to the right.
And what is going to be on the side? Is there a sign by the side door?
I am not knowledgeable. That is not within my premises. So
Okay.
I don't know anything about that.
But can
But
I?
I'm sure Michael Klecki, the hardware store guy, would he has not suggested to me in any way increasing his signage. So I don't think there's a current intention of that. So,
But
yeah,
Michael, can I enter through the hardware store to get into Island Pursuit?
Say that again now.
Can I enter through the hardware store to go into Island Pursuit?
Yes, in both ways. Yes.
Oh, you can.
We have a hallway so that the idea is that hardware store has been there since 1936. People are going to come through our front door first, and we're going to give them the best Island Pursuit tour they can, or let them scurry through if they've got paint in their hands or something. And yes, it is going to be, so the hardware store will have two entrances, and we will be displaying hardware equipment like barbecue grills and those cute little toy cars that the hardware store has been selling for the past 50 years. We're going to retain those in the front windows as well, in conjunction with some cute outfits as well.
Okay, and then there'll be the side entrance that will be accessible to both the hardware store and to Island Pursuit.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's the idea. So when people park their cars from Island Pursuit, they come in the side door.
Right. Okay. No further questions.
All right. Sam, do you have any comments or questions?
So I following on what Bob question he has, the idea of the side entrance seems to be superfluous because there's no sign on it. And I think the side entrance, you're saying it goes to both. So I don't know. This just seemed like a nice place to put a sign and would catch the eye of people walking down from the main part of Chatham. And it's an attractive sign. So on the face of without getting into the mechanics of how you've set up your store and whether that's good or bad, I can't, and it's not part of our purview in a sense. Our interest is in the sign. And so I'm happy with the sign, and so good luck.
Okay, thank you, Sam. And Doug Grattan, do you have anything?
I don't have anything. I'm happy with the sign as presented.
Okay, and I think it's also an attractive sign, and I'm okay with where it is. Does anybody out in the public have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I would like a motion, please.
I'll make a motion for application
Please,
20.
Doug,
I'm sorry, this
just
is
state
Doug.
your name, please.
Doug Grattan. Motion 20-036, Island Pursuit, care of Michael Valentino. Application to install a wall sign on the side of the structure located at 624 Main Street.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sam
And second.
Stryber
Yes.
seconds it. Okay. Do I have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Doug,
So we do need a roll call. So that was Sam, Bob, Doug, and Darcy all in favor.
Correct. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is Max Chatham Fish and Lobster, care of McGregor Hay. Application to install a roof sign on the structure located at 1291 Main Street. Sam, do we have anything from Sarah?
Yes, the sign coordinator has notified in her communication the proposed sign complies with the sign bylaw.
Okay, I think Amy is representing MAC.
Hi, everyone. Yes, I am. My name is Amy Bowl, and I am representing Max Chatham Fish and Lobster and Max Seafood for the sign today. And I'm sure you'll see in the proposed packet, we put up a picture. I don't know where that lobster came from in that picture. I think it was photoshopped in. But we are using a pre-existing sign that sat on the building for a very, very long time. It's going to be the exact same sign, wood sign. We're just going to paint over it. And we're probably going to be using Chatham Sign Shop, which we've been using for several other signs that we've done for our company, and they do a beautiful job. And we're going to stick with the same colors that we're going to be using. If any of you have picked up a menu at Max Chatham Fish and Lobster, it's basically navy blue and red and white. And you know, the sign proportions are going to be exactly the same as the sign that's currently up there. It's going to be lit exactly the same with a long fluorescent tube at the base of the sign. And, you know, that's really it.
Okay.
Very, 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 very basic proposal, just using the same sign and painting over it. So we have some real signage out there instead of just our red umbrellas to herald our presence. And that's about it, unless you have any other questions about the sign and what we're planning to do. But we basically just want to put some signage up announcing the restaurant and that it's there this year. We just didn't get around to it last year. So, all right. Did you want any other details besides that? Anyone?
Darcy, you there?
Darcy.
Darcy. Hello, Darcy.
Did we lose Darcy?
Darcy's frozen.
Frozen.
Oh,
Well,
Oh, it looks like we lost Darcy real
Darcy.
quickly. So
Sarah, can I suggest that you poll the board?
yeah,
This is Katie Donovan. I apologize.
yes.
But
Can we poll the board with any questions? Sam, do you have any questions for the applicant?
yes, I do.
okay.
Is the sign at the gutter line or is it back on the building?
It's back on the building a little bit from
Back
the
on
gutter
the
line.
building.
It's kind of hard to see from that.
No, it's all right. And is the Max Chatham Fish and Lobster with restaurant, big restaurant, and all back shadowed and stuff, that will be put inside the black border, or there'll
Yes.
be no black border?
I believe it's going to be put inside the black border.
Okay, so you've got to make sure that when you do that, because of the rounded edges, leaves a little bit of the white showing in
Okay.
the black. If you
Okay.
jam that up against the black, it's gonna, I think it might look bad.
Might look bad. Sure. Sure. You know, we'll definitely consult with the people from Chatham Sign Shop to make sure it's going to look great.
That would be all right.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we'll do. We always kind of refer to them because they've done such a great job on all of the signs that they do. If they have any suggestions for us to make sure it looks good. And we follow their suggestions. And we can follow up with any kind of, once they come up with a final, we can definitely send you a picture to make sure you're okay with it.
Okay, sorry, I lost you there for a little bit.
There she is. Hi, Darcy.
I don't know what happened. Okay, Doug Bratton, do you have anything?
I do not have any questions. I like the way it's been presented. I'm happy with it.
Bob?
This is Bob Burns. No further questions.
Okay, does anybody out in the public have any questions or comments to make?
Yes, Steve Buckley, I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Maybe it would be helpful if you could pull up that photo again.
Steve, do you want the existing sign location or the proposed rendering of the sign?
Existing, I guess,
Okay.
or that picture
All right.
there. Can you make it a little bigger? Or okay, thank you. I noticed that once Max took over,
Mm-hmm.
they must have replaced. You can see in the upper, right above the lobster's head, there's a
Yeah.
flood lamp there on
Okay.
the corner, and there's another one now at the similar location over there. And
Okay.
I noticed that once Max took over, that they must have replaced them, because when you
Okay.
walk by at night, it looks
Mhm.
like reminded me of like a prison camp lights.
Oh.
Everything's lit up like Stalag 17 or something. And I
Mhm.
don't think we're looking, the HBDC is not looking for make things look more like a concentration camp. Just a wild guess. But so I'm concerned, I guess, with the lighting, if the lighting gets similarly upgraded I'm sure the electrician or whoever might say, hey, you want an upgrade? Sure, why not? And that's what I suspect happened before. But I think there's a danger with the look of a
Mhm.
place at night. I don't have a problem with the sign as per se. It's just
Sure.
that the lighting takes away the ambiance or the look or the feel
Mhm.
of small town thing, as opposed to a commercial, over commercializing an area.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that was my thought. I didn't know if perhaps and this might not affect the action before you, but shrouds or something. So whatever lights were in there before for that sign previously,
Uh-huh.
keep them the same, but try not to overdo it, because I know it seems that every time I see a light replaced along this strip
Mhm.
or any other place in Chatham, that it always seems to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And so it's just.
This is just a guess, and I don't know the answer to this question, but I'm just wondering if some of the replacement lights are LED versus other types of lights. And that might account for the brightness of the lights. I mean, I could be wrong about that, and I'm really not sure. And I completely understand what you're talking about the brightness of the lights. And you don't want things to look garish. You want it to look like you're in a small town. And I will definitely take your concerns to Mac about the flood lamp replacement. When I asked him about the lighting for this current sign, he told me that it's just going to be the fluorescent tube, very similar to what was used in the past. And none of that is really going to change. It's going to be very similar to what it was. So that's what I was told. I don't think he has any plans to do anything that hopefully will not offend anybody else in the town. So.
Okay,
Well,
Amy.
if perhaps a shroud, that's just a thought. If you're going to go back to, you would only know this if you went there
Sure.
at night.
You
And if
got
people, if you or
Yeah.
Mac only go the daytime, then when it's, open, then
Sure.
you wouldn't know. But you don't need to read a newspaper across the street, and you can easily
Yeah.
read a newspaper across the street. So
Mhm.
I live across the
Okay.
street. That's why I know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Steve, for your comments. Okay, are you ready to vote or ready to make a motion, please? Please state your name and then the motion.
Doug Bratton. I'd like to make a motion for application 20-039, Max Chatham Fish and Lobster, care of McGregor Hay, application to install a roof sign on the structure located at 1291 Main Street as presented.
Do I have a second?
Darcy,
Do I have a second?
Darcy, it's Bob Burns. I have a question. Do
Okay.
we want them to come back with this lighting? What they're gonna do with the lighting?
If they desire to come back to change the lighting, yes, they'll need a new application. That will be up to them. Anything further?
Which is exactly what was up before. So it's, lighting from the bottom.
Yeah.
No further questions.
Okay, do I have a second on the motion?
Sam Stryber seconds.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Stryber.
Aye.
Doug Ratton, aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Bob Burns?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. You're
Thank
approved.
you.
You're
Thank you very
welcome.
much.
Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
it. Do you need me to stay on the call until the end of the meeting, or can I go?
No, it's not necessary.
All
you can
right.
leave.
Thank you, everybody. Listen, have a wonderful afternoon. Thank
Bye.
you very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, bye-bye.
Okay, the next application is a site improvement, 20-037, Eastwood Companies in care of Susan Ledoux. Application to install fencing around the dumpster located at 693 Main Street. Susan, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, great. I can't get my camera to work, so I'm not sure why. But yep, you've got the photos up there. So I've submitted revised site plan, revised landscape plan, and then photos of the parking area. And also, if I'm not sure Sarah's in control, but go over to the photo with the refuse containers that are next to the parking area. There we go. And so Semesco Verbiage is the architectural firm that has leased the property from us. And so they'd like to relocate the refuse containers to where they're shown in this photo. It's easier for them to access, and it's also easier for the refuse company to pick up and and empty them when they come once a week. And so we're before you now for the refuse containers, and then for the 4-foot gray stain fence enclosure that will go around. And this is similar fencing to what we're proposing to go around those two refuse containers. And we were before the planning board last week for a revised plan, and they approved this. And they knew that we would be before you this week for this change also. I mean, that's my presentation.
Okay, Susan, great. Thank you. All right, Bob Burns, do you have any comments or questions?
No comment, no further questions.
Doug Bratton?
I think it's gonna be a very nice improvement. I'm for it. Thank you.
Sam Stryber?
Yes, I can see it's only going to be an improvement. So thank you.
Okay, very good. Does anyone out in the public have anything to say? Any questions or comments for this application? Okay, hearing none, I will need a motion, please.
Doug Ratton will make a motion. Application 20-037. Susan Ledoux. Located at
Do I have a second?
Second, Bob Burns.
Bob Burns, you second it?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Stryber, yes.
Aye.
Doug,
Burns.
Sam, and Bob say yes,
Yeah.
as do I. Anyone opposed? Okay, application is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next application, 20-042, Delmar, care of John Zartarian. Application to install fencing, picnic tables, and umbrellas located at 907 Main Street.
Hi, this is John Zartarian.
Hey, John.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Okay, tell us what you'd like to do.
So I am proposing a temporary containment for some picnic tables on the front and side lawn of our building. And these proposed seats would basically be seats that we expect to be taken by mandated social distancing coming up. And they'd only be a fraction of what we expect to lose. The photo you're looking at right now is predominantly where I would like to place this contained area. And it would be on the left side as you're facing the building, of the building, and a little bit on the front. There is a site plan in the packet as well. And that will kind of give you an idea of what we're trying to do.
So how many seats altogether, John?
Well, I've asked for 8 larger picnic tables that could hold 8 each, but I've also included a second option that would be a smaller picnic table that would be more like 4 to 6 people.
Do we have any photos of that?
Yes. Yeah, that's the first picnic table that I've proposed. That was my first choice, and the next photo should be my second choice.
And would they be stained natural or painted, or what's your proposal?
Well, I was going to keep them natural, but I'm open to suggestions as far as that goes.
And what about the umbrellas?
The umbrellas, if you keep going into the proposal, I have 2 different choices for umbrellas. Neither of the choices has any kind of signage on it. The color of the umbrellas would be a basic black, which would match our already approved awning.
Okay, let's hear from the commissioners what they have to say. Sam Stryber. I can't hear you, Sam.
I know, somebody turned on their mic. Not me.
All right, let's go to Bob and then come back to you, Sam, okay?
I'm on this, Bob Burns. John, I like what you're doing. I think it's a very good solution for the current environment. So I like the larger tables. I like the idea of the rope instead of the picket fence. Also, the black umbrellas will be matching your awning. So I think that is good. So I don't have any further questions. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Doug, do you have any questions or comments?
Doug Ratton. Yes, I'm in total favor of the larger picnic table and the black umbrellas. John, quick question. Is the rope the preferred proposed nautical rope system, or the split rail? What's your preferred fencing?
Well, my preference is the rope, Doug, but because time is of the essence, I also submitted my application to the H.B.D.C, which is can be up to 2 months to get approval. Hopefully they're going to expedite that. In that proposal, I gave them 2 options too, either the split rail fence or the rope system. So I'm hoping that, whatever everyone's preference is, as long as the general concept is accepted, that people are flexible enough to say, well, the H.B.D.C said we will not approve without a split rail fence. As long as everybody's fine with that, that would be great. In the event they say we're fine with the nautical rope, that would be my preference.
Well, I would support whichever one you want to go with. So I have no question to support, and we all need to get through this. So absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, Sam, are you up and running there?
Yeah, well, I was before. It's Doug Bratton's microphone that he needs. There we go. So the proposed nautical rope system seems a little less substantial than the than the split rail fence, but I would accept either one. I think that it's appropriate. Will you be doing anything on the grade? Will you change it to pebbles or will you be in grass?
No, Sam, the health department is fine with what I've proposed. The only change we're going to make to the landscaping is that there is some existing landscaping right on the front left corner of the building, which I'm going to temporarily put down some sod, just so that it would work better with our placement of the tables because of the barrier that the building would create by having a table right there. But that's as far as different grades or different materials for the floor. No, I don't plan on making any changes.
So it is grass that you plan to have?
It's
as
grass.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, the health department's fine with it temporarily. And I think given the situation, that's what I would like to do.
So basically, the only other thing that you want some feedback on is whether the 6 tables, we prefer the 6 tables or the eight tables, eight person table. I don't think it makes a difference to me. I think if you put a series of them, if you put some 6s and some 8s, then you might want to do that in a carefully worked out order and not sort of random. So,
right. Sure.
Absolutely. Do people come to this area from inside, from the existing doorway? Is that the way it's going to work?
Right. That was my original plan, but I think what we should do as well, and it's not on my site plan, is put in a gate that would be accessed from the front lawn. I think it would be easier if we get a wheelchair, if we have a wheelchair, to put it right in through that gate.
Okay. All right. Well, that's up to you. Wheelchair and grass is not the greatest. Okay.
Okay,
That's my questions.
I'm going to take a poll regarding the fencing or the roping. Doug, which do you prefer?
Darcy, anyone, if he has another board from the state to approve, then I don't care which one he goes with.
Okay. Bob?
Yeah, either way is fine with me. And just looking back to last year, I think we approved roping at Max. Max is using a roping system. So either way, whatever the ABC wants, John, I think that's the way you have to go.
Thank you. Yes, Max is using it on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with either way.
Okay. All right. So that choice would be up to you. And when you decide, if you would just submit some paperwork to Sarah, so we know what you're doing. All right.
Absolutely. Okay.
Great.
Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Does anybody in the public want to speak at this point?
Hi, Steve Buckley again.
Steve?
Yeah, I had shopped for those hexagonal picnic tables one time, and I'm not sure if the one that was being proposed, but there are some that have breaks in them in the bench. Just might want to not for the boards or the commission's advice, but you can get them so that people don't have to raise their skirt or help great grandpa over the hump, but they have breaks on the corners. You know, see what I'm saying? So that people can slide in on for hexagonal ones. So you can go, I'm assuming it's essentially the same thing as far as the commission is concerned. I just wanted to pass that on.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, I need a motion.
And Doug Bratton's going to make a motion for application 20-042 Delmar, care of John Zatarian, application to install fencing, picnic tables, and umbrellas located at 907 Main Street as presented.
I need a second.
Bob Burns, second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Did I get one from you, Doug, or yeah, and I?
I approve. I'm in favor of.
Thank you. All right, you're all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank
Great
you.
day.
You too. All right, next is an addition alteration, 20-040 Louis Castellana. Application to modify the existing certificate of appropriateness, application number 20-032, to replace light fixtures located at 759 Main Street. Lois, are you there? Is someone there for this, 759 Main?
Just here, Darcy disappears whenever.
Can you hear me?
Yep, all set. Go ahead, Lois.
So yeah, I'm just looking to change the lamp. I was approved for the onion lights, but just saw something I like a little bit better and would like to change the design.
Okay, Sam, do you have anything to say?
So this is so first 759 Main Street. So we had approved some onion lamps,
Yes,
and you're saying you prefer these squarish lamps. Are they going to be on a post?
this one will be on the post and two on the front door.
There we go. It's pretty clean looking lamp, and it does have the exposed bulb the way an onion lamp does. Doesn't have quite the flare that an onion lamp has, but no, I'd accept this. Yes.
Thank you.
Bob Burns?
Yes,
Bob, are you there?
I'm here. Yes, this is a little bit more contemporary than an onion lamp, but I'm fine. I'm fine with the lamps.
Doug Grattan?
I'm fine with the change also.
Okay, anyone from the public have any comments or questions? Okay, hearing none, I would like a motion, please.
Doug Ratton will make a motion for additional operation 20-040 Louis Castanella, application to modify the existing certificate of appropriateness, application number 20-032, to replace the light fixtures located at 79 Main Street as presented.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Yes, Fribert says okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Bob,
Aye.
Doug,
Aye.
Sam? Sam, do you approve?
Yes, yes, see.
Okay, all approved. Anyone opposed? Okay, we're good. Good to go with your lights.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, administrative approval exemption, 20-038, Barn Hill Properties, Inc., care of Peter Higgins. Application for exemption to replace the garage doors on the structure located at 22 Barn Hill Road. And we have another at 20-041, Pate's Restaurant, care of Dan McLaughlin. Application for administration approval to replace the roofing, siding, and repainting exterior trim on the structure located at 1260 Main Street. Does anybody have any comments? Anybody on the board?
Yes, I thought we had somebody come before us on replacing these garage doors, or maybe one or two of them, and they were going to do an all black door with no glass breaks. And at that time, I voted against it, so I don't know what
I think they're
proposed.
So
going to go with white, right, Sarah?
yes, they are going with the white doors, Sam.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other shopkeepers in the in that plaza didn't want to go with black, so they have asked to just replace the existing doors as they look with the same white style door.
Excellent.
Okay, do I have a motion, please?
I move to accept the,
For attitude approval exemption, 20-038 Barney Properties, Inc., care of Peter Higgins, application for exemption to replace garage doors on the structure located at 22 Barnhill Road, as presented.
Do you want to do the next one too, and we'll do them together?
Application 20-041 Pate's Restaurant, care of Dan McLaughlin, application for administrative approval to replace the roofing, siding, and repainting exterior trim on structure located at 1260 Main Street, as presented.
Okay, I need a second.
Second, Sam.
Second from Sam Stryber. Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye. Sam.
Doug Ratton, aye.
Burns, aye.
All right, got it. Darcy, aye. Okay, is there anything else that we need to discuss at this point?
So Darcy, we do have the informal discussion regarding temporary changes to sites during the COVID-19 emergency.
Okay, I don't think I have that in front of me.
So there's no materials that we have for you at this
Okay.
time. I believe the Director of Community Development may just want to give you a brief explanation and see if you have any comments.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody. This is Katie Donovan. How are you?
Hi, Katie. Good, thank you.
Good. So we just, the town and specifically community development is looking to allow or work with businesses as they need to make changes due to the COVID-19 emergency. So for, one of the proposals you saw tonight for Delmar would be something along those lines that we would try to get in front of you, perhaps on a, as quickly as possible, or perhaps for administrative approval. We're not sure where this is going to land at this point in time. We've reached out to town council to find out what authority we could potentially have to allow businesses to make changes without formal approvals on a temporary basis. And we're not sure, like I said, where that's going to land and if there's any relief that will even be granted. But we just wanted to bring the idea to the board, to the commission, just to get your initial thoughts on, as we're moving forward. Once we proposed a policy or regulations, we would certainly bring it back to you for review if that's the avenue that we end up taking. So just looking for your initial thoughts at this point.
This is Doug Ratton. I'm totally supporting what we need to do to act quickly to help these businesses and everything go through. So absolutely.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of anything at all that could help the businesses at this time. So I agree wholeheartedly with Doug. If it takes administrative approval, within reason, of course, I would be totally in favor.
So I think this is Sam Stryber. I think the key thing is the temporary change that somebody might be proposing. As long as it's temporary, like a 3-month or 6-month, then I think they could do anything right now under the existing regulations. They might be fined, they might be other things, but the fines take 3 months to work out. So effectively, a temporary arrangement is always available to people, but if people come with some change that they know is in the purview of the H.B.D.C, I think we would hear it, but what we would like to be able to do is to say, depending on what's involved, of course, that we would approve it on a temporary basis.
Okay, good thought.
Thank you. And actually, that's exactly what we're thinking, that we would have some sort of an end date or something along the lines of, that it would take effect until like 45 days past the declaration of emergency or something along those lines where it would be temporary in nature. But it would also allow businesses, perhaps during the off season, if they chose to, permanently expand their businesses in this way to come and get the necessary approvals during that time period. So we're just trying to be, as helpful as possible, within what the laws allow us at this point in time.
Okay, great.
Understandable.
So we'll certainly keep you posted. And if there's anything, you know, any written policy that comes about, we will certainly be sharing that with you as soon as possible.
Okay, appreciate that, Katie. Thank you. All right, does anybody have anything else? Okay, would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Doug Grattan will make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
You need a second?
Second, Sam.
Okay, Doug, in favor?
Yes, I am.
Sam?
Sure.
Bob?
Yes.
And Darcy's in favor. Good night, all. Thank you very much.
Good night.
You.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.